Marcus Pollard, the recently retired warden at Donovan State Prison, is facing criticism over his 2-year tenure about his disciplinary and pandemic-related decisions. Donovan's COVID-related death toll is among the highest in state prisons, and reporting from inewsource revealed at least 3 men were found dead or dying from COVID in their cells during the deadly winter outbreak. Here to talk more about it is inewsource editor Mary Plummer, joining us on Tuesday as always. Mary, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Carlo.
Okay, this retirement came after months of challenges at Donovan State Prison. Tell us more about what triggered this change in leadership.
It sure did, Carlo. This is really quite big news for San Diego's only state prison facility. Marcus Pollard had worked for the California Corrections Department for 25 years, and as my colleague Sofia Mejias Pasco reported, Pollard wrote in his resignation letter that his tenure as warden was both extremely challenging and rewarding. During his time on the job, he did face heavy criticism for the prison's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, and also for an employee discipline decision that he made within the first month that he was on the job. So his time there certainly was not without challenges. He was someone who was really in the limelight during the midst of a massive COVID outbreak that occurred during the pandemic at RJ Donovan.
So what is the state prison system saying about this tenure, this removal or departure as it is? And now former warden Marcus Pollard, what are they all saying about his departure?
So we reached out to Pollard several times for this story, and he did not respond to our request for comment. As for the State Corrections Department, it has defended its actions and the actions of Pollard. The department has acknowledged that staff failed to isolate some COVID-positive individuals during the pandemic, but at the same time, they have maintained that sick inmates were checked on. That is in the face of our own investigative reporting, which found that at least 3 inmates were found dead or dying in their cells during that major outbreak that I mentioned. So certainly lots of questions about leadership decisions during the past year and a half or so that the pandemic has really taken hold and created a lot of challenges for the California state prison system, not just at Donovan, but at other locations across the state.
Found dead or dying in their cells. That raises huge questions. Now, Marcus Pollard held the job of warden for 2 years before retirement. Besides these issues, what else has happened at Donovan during his tenure?
So another significant marker that happened during Pollard's time in charge was a court order back in 2020 that forced the prison to start using body-worn cameras. It was the first prison in California to implement body cams. And as I mentioned, the change came through a court order. The decision was a reform effort to protect disabled inmates who said that they were being denied accommodations and assaulted by staff. So some pretty serious allegations there. Some of our reporting has raised questions about how well these reforms were accepted by staff, but certainly the implementation of these body cameras was notable during Pollard's time there.
So right now, where are we at Donovan after this transition, coming out of the worst of the pandemic, we hope? And have you heard anything on the latest COVID numbers on there specifically?
So Donovan now has a new warden, Raymond Madden. He was previously warden at the Centinela State Prison in Imperial County. As of earlier today, the prison is reporting only 1 active COVID case in the past 2 weeks. But over the course of the pandemic, there were at least 1,000 infections and 18 deaths among inmates. Vaccination has also been a bit of a challenge at Donovan and at other facilities across the state. Right now, the prison is reporting that about 85% of inmates are fully vaccinated, and staff are lagging a bit behind that at 67% of staff who are fully vaccinated.
Mary Plummer with inewsource.org. We appreciate you paying such close attention to the details at Donovan State Prison, and we'll hear more from you on this, we're sure. Thanks.
Thanks, Carlo.